president's and the nation's leading small business advocacy organization. Our mission is to promote and protect the right of our members to own, operate, and grow their business. And we do this through legislative and political activism. What sets NFIB apart from other business organizations, from a chamber or other trade groups, is really the way we're structured within. Our motto is one member, one vote, meaning that our members, the small business owners who are NFIB members, have a direct say in all of our public policy matters, and they have a say that's equal to every other member.
Leadership in the state has layered tax upon tax and regulation upon regulation on the business community. And the small business person has suffered more than anyone from these efforts. In fact, on a national average, small business with fewer than 20 employees incur regulatory costs 42% greater than firms with 20 to 499 employees and 36% greater costs than companies with more than 500 employees. The national regulatory cost for an employee for small business is about $10,585 compared to $7,454 for medium-sized business and $7,755 for a large firm. Small business compliance costs are 110% higher than medium-sized businesses and 125% higher than large businesses. In areas like healthcare, utility costs, construction, and the like, we pay between 45 and 70% more than medium-sized businesses and between 28 and 83% more than large companies. We account for 4 out of 5 new jobs created in this country, yet we bear a disproportionate share of the cost of tax compliance, environmental regulation, occupational safety, and homeland security. No business failure ever created a job, at least not one that sustained itself. And you know, quite frankly, most of us entrepreneurs, to us, wealth is more a consequence of our success than a goal in of itself. I mean, we work hard. Speaking for myself, I never, even when I was in struggle, ever thought closing it and going to work for someone else. I think everybody around the table will agree to that. Very few of us got rich overnight. There are a number of people in this building who seem hell-bent on demonizing the business community as a source of all the state's problems. I mean, I'm here to tell you today that we're not the problem, but we are the solution.
Like, if I was going to spend all this time working, I'd like to see the results for myself and not for someone else. I've always been one who learns from every experience in life and decided I'd figure it out along the way, and my motivation and determination would take me the rest of the way. First item on the agenda, move to Connecticut. Why? I don't know. Having grown up in Connecticut, I thought, I like Connecticut, cost of living should be less and would enable me to juggle funds better. Well, I learned a few things very quickly. Finding a place to rent in Connecticut is extremely difficult. Especially right now, there's a lot of demand for rental property and not a lot of decent places. Landlords do not like self-employed individuals. Apparently, we're something that one acquires easily, and it's not very affordable. Coming from Mass, I was hoping there would be group plans that I could join in on, but that wasn't available. I was also told I had to leave to have my business successfully for 3 months before I'd be able to take insurance out under the business name. Then I found that navigating the Connecticut government website to find out what paperwork was necessary to fill out to start my business was kind of a nightmare. I think I spent about 2 days reading everything because I was so nervous that I was going to mess something up. I remember very vividly the Connecticut licensing portion of the website and the tax portion being so confusing. And I have a degree in entrepreneurship.
And I believe it was because of my involvement with the NFIB. I represented Connecticut business on that board, and it was an enlightening experience. One of the things that I constantly tried to do was reel everyone back to the fact that small businesses are affected very seriously in every state by mandates. Connecticut has the honor of not only being a high tax state, but they rank as 7th with the most mandates on small business at 56 mandates. There's things that is a fact of life in healthcare is that groups of less than 50 have to be managed differently than groups of 50 or more. 50 or more exempt by ERISA from a lot of the mandates that are passed. So anytime the legislatures sit down and think, this is a great idea for improving the healthcare insurance for the citizens of Connecticut, they're only really talking about us, entrepreneurs, groups of less than 50. The decision the other day in Virginia is going to lead to a likewise decision in Florida on mandatory insurance. By the way, the NFIB has joined in that lawsuit. It's the only business group that did that. The number of states now has risen to 25 that are on that lawsuit. So literally half of the country is opposed to the mandates that are part of that law. Things are going to change.
A lot of the small business people are here to stay. Most of us were born and raised here. We have our roots here. It's very tough for us to get up and leave. The bigger multinational companies can come and go as they please. The technology, as Rick had talked about, Randy talked about, you can basically be anywhere you want. But we choose to stay here. We raise our family here. We give of our time and energies here. We volunteer for boards and commissions at the local level. So we want to make sure that our community is safe and solid, and there's wealth created there, because that betters our own community and benefits the state of Connecticut. With that, basically the golden goose has left. When people talk about the millionaire's tax, millionaires are leaving. It's proven that. And the ones that are standing are us. So basically the burden is falling on us when it comes to regulation and taxes, whether it's overtaxation or not.
Small businesses here in Connecticut. And forgive me if I say something politically incorrect, but it insults my intelligence that we have 56,000 employees in the state of Connecticut, and it takes 3 weeks to register a business. If I was in North Carolina, I'd pick up the phone, and in 45 minutes, my business is registered. It's incredibly unproductive to have all of the regulations and the taxes and all of these hoops that a small business has to jump through in order to even begin, try to sustain themselves here in Connecticut.
So when you start looking and start comparing what we have to go through in this state compared to other states that are more business friendly, it's crazy. I'll give you one more example that ramped my business up at the beginning of this decade. I had 32 employees at one point. I had a call one day in October 2005. They said, "We're taking your business offshore because we can get it done for a third of the price." So I was left to let go 30 people. Obviously, I didn't have a lot of extra funds or the luxury of enjoying the fact that I had to downsize my business and let people go. So what did the state of Connecticut do? They increased my unemployment tax base to the highest possible base it could be. And it hit me initially with about a $5,000 bill. It took me till last year to get back down to a decent rate for my unemployment insurance. I think that's just, just absolutely.
Because of the size of our company, we're only a 15-person company, and we pay the minimum unemployment comp rate, which at the moment is 1.9%. The state graciously raised it from 1.4% last year by 0.5%. So we had an increased cost there. But if I were to lay off one person tomorrow, my rate immediately increases to 5.4%, the maximum, for 3 years. So when I figure the computational cost of paying the increased unemployment comp, as well as doing the proper severance benefits and all the other stuff, it's actually cheaper for me to keep the person employed, not doing anything, than it is to lay off a single employee.
And that's why I'm involved in this group. There, everybody else has been co-opted, into this idea. The cleaning industry, nobody talks about the cleaning industry, but it's a stepping stone for immigrants and people to work their way up, into what America is good for, the high-paying jobs. But they've turned it into a permanent career, which is by making it, by paying out-of-market wages, and that makes no sense. And along the way, they have to savage our economy, to do that. Nobody talks about it. They run their Janitors for Justice program, but that's the source of a lot of the problems that we're all talking here. Service employees.
Speaking on behalf of a lot of the Representative Lex here, that we hear you, we understand you. We ran our campaigns based on what you're saying because we believe in all the things you're saying today in terms of the overregulation, the overtaxing, the just total disaster of the business climate in Connecticut. So I know I ran my campaign on it. I'm happy to be here today to hear.
So I think we need to look at maybe not just putting in 4,000 new amendments or bills, but maybe looking at how we can maybe reverse some of this. And that's true.